Why be easy when you can just die?
I'm Chewy Mew, and welcome to my channel, but more specifically, welcome to the first episode of a new series I'm starting called Dear Hasbro, I Fixed Your Toy, in which I take a figure that I think sucks, made by Hasbro obviously, and I improve it, make it better. Basically, this is supposed to be sort of a slap in the face to Hasbro and showing, hey, this custom that I made, this is what you should have released originally, not some piece of crap. You know, make a custom that's better than the original. But this is a custom Agony. It's sort of an amalgamation of different bodies. Of course, the new one's going to have it's going to be using the new generic female Shriek body. And so, obviously, this one's a bit taller. It has double-jointed elbows. You know, it has the works. Not quite the works level, though. I will say the articulation on this is, it's not better than this, but it's definitely different. And so, the one I'm doing today is the Marvel Legends Monster Venom Build-A-Figure Wave, a Shriek. I can't show you the figure yet because it's been customized. The reason I'm showing you guys these two figures is because I sort of need to preface this video by showing you what's been done before and currently what's been done now with female figures. So the Shriek body uses the sort of, I'm just going to say it like this, the sort of big boobs, big butt kind of body. I'm not really too sure how else to describe it. That's pretty much what it is. And the articulation is nearly identical to this one. It pretty much could only move like this, but this one now has a disc hinge neck. Unfortunately, Shriek doesn't have it. It also had a single bend in the elbow here and a rotation here at like a sort of a hinge joint. That being that the elbows bend in actually a lot more compared to the other ones. The other ones bend in about like this much. And one thing you would think, typically when Hasbro makes new figures, you would think they improve upon articulation. One thing that this Spider-Gwen has is that her arms can move up nearly all the way. Newer figure, mind you, can only bend up about that high. Why did they revert back to this? So you do gain double-jointed elbows, but you do lose more range of motion in the arm. The best thing about this new body is it has double-jointed elbows. Toy Biz did that in like 2004, gave up for some reason, is this one has a boot cut here, and this new body doesn't have a boot cut. So I'm not too sure why it kind of feels like they picked and choose what articulation they want to give and what they want to add. It feels like with Hasbro, they have a certain limit of articulation. For example, this one has double-jointed elbows, so that means you have to sacrifice a boot cut. This one has boot cut, which means you have to sacrifice double-jointed elbows. This one, they did tone back the, let's just call them assets. Let's call them assets for now. The one thing as well that I could point out here is that she has pinless knees and elbows, which is good job, Hasbro. It only took you, many years. Not really much to get excited here, considering we're probably going to be seeing this body for like the next 8 years. So, Scream, I think the head sculpt is cool, but if you look at a bunch of pictures in the comic books, her hair is basically tendrils. It's tentacles and stuff to grab enemies and, attack and do stuff like that. As far as the body, it's just, kind of just your standard symbiote affair where it's basically just one main color with a bunch of, in Agony's case, black and dark purple kind of splattered on the body, making it look kind of carnagey. Carnage, mostly red with black splotches here and there. Shriek, on the other hand, the figure, they painted her more of a gold color, which is closer to Phage's color. So again, the color is wrong. And also, the head sculpt is nice. I will give them credit for that. No bendy wire. There's no posability in her hair. And again, like I said, it's basically this body minus better elbow joints, without boot cuts. So and also without the disc hinge in the neck. It only has a ball joint, but then her hair blocks it, pretty much ruins all of that. So I decided to go ahead and repaint it, modify some colors and stuff. And this is my custom Shriek. This is my fixed toy. And yeah, so you can tell right off the bat, this is insane looking. Tons of bendy wire pieces here. So these are just made using some kind of fencing wire. They're really bendy and flexible. So I repainted this a sort of matte yellow. The main body is a matte yellow, and then I kind of splotched on red and black here and there. She tends to have a pattern where a little bit of like her inner body, like her ribs and hips, her arms, her inner arms, and then a part of her legs mostly have like kind of red. She does have like some method to the madness. It's not just completely random strewn about. I did kind of go a little bit random strewn about to make it look a little more exciting, by the numbers kind of look. And the head sculpt, there's not really much I can do to improve it. I feel like this head sculpt is already good enough. I did put like some yellow here and there to make it look like she has like saliva or like slime kind of dripping out of her mouth. As far as the head sculpt, I do think the head sculpt, this part is, I think it's perfect. This fits Scream perfectly. Kind of just painted all this red. We can actually pop her head off. If we take the head off, this body doesn't really have any improvements compared to the original. I did unfortunately break this double jointed elbow. I don't really, or not double jointed elbow, single jointed elbow. I don't know how. I did chop off some plastic here and there to the elbows to make them bend in a little bit more, because normally her original elbow bent about that much. So that's a very slight movement. Not gonna give you, you know, the level of double jointed elbows. As far as paint apps, I think I pretty much nailed the paint apps. Not to brag here, but the paint apps are significantly better. Take a look at the head sculpt here. And like I said, the head sculpt, I think that face is perfect for Shriek or Scream. I think it encapsulates her perfectly. Like I said, just the hair needs more work. And so all these tentacles here, or tendrils, offer a ton of posability and stuff. The way I actually had her mounted on my wall is I had one of the tendrils wrapped around like a thumbtack on the wall, so she would be suspended in it from it. And then you can have the other ones kind of splaying out. And this offers some pretty good dynamic poses you can get with this. As far as articulation, it is pretty much identical, which I think adding articulation to a figure like this is not a simple feat to do, you know. This was mainly just sort of give it a paint apps that don't just feel sloppy and lazy. It feels more deliberate. It feels like it's more crazy. There's more stuff going on with her paint apps. And also give her a more matte yellow compared to having a golden color. If I zoom in like that, you can see some paint chipping there. You can see the teeth actually, they're not sculpted out. It's just the black parts are raised and the white parts are kind of curved or carved inwards. You can see it actually does have sculpting there. I wish Hasbro would have gone farther and made, instead of making the white parts sort of concave and inwards, they would have made it sticking out, like raised eyes and teeth. He has raised webbing. The webbing is raised out. I wish they would have done that with Shriek, or with Scream, giving her raised eyes and teeth. For example, on my custom Agony here, she actually does have raised teeth. So as far as these tentacles, they do offer, obviously, they give you more posability and stuff. They even give you some balance here if you have the figure in some kind of pose that can't hold the weight of it. You can have the hair angle to kind of hold her up and stuff, various different ways. It's not quite the level of oh yeah, like you get something like this, for example, have her holding Spider-Man up, or any character pretty much. Then you can see her tentacles in the back. Keep calling tentacles tendrils. You can see they're kind of holding up her weight so she doesn't just topple over. Have her hanging from like a shelf, like I had, for example, a thumbtack holding it. Or you can see sort of takes advantage of the whole bendy wire thing, which Hasbro hates bendy wire. But I feel like with bendy wire, this makes it significantly cooler. I didn't just take pieces and just super glue them wherever. I tried super gluing them onto where parts of her hair look like they would come off. For example, here, she has some strands of hair going here. For example, there's a tendril that's glued at the very top of the head, almost like at her scalp, going here and curving this way. So that way it looks like it's part of her hair, like part of this hair going down here. I did, in some parts, I painted it red, or painted it yellow, and then I just slapped a little bit of red on here to give it some sort of, little bit of color in it. If I had yellow wire, there would be no problem. Or even if it was white, a color that isn't green. But I feel like green kind of looks like it has some shading to it or something, you know? It's very good. I think this custom has significantly improved it from the original figure. And then I took some black paint. I just dipped it in some paint, mixed it with water, and then kind of smeared it on here to get the black looking to it. I did paint the hair as well. I want a little bit more of a matte kind of yellow and red. Red, yellow, and black, they're all kind of matte. So if you want a better looking Scream, you can kind of go with this here. Scream is a pretty pricey figure on eBay now, actually. I managed to buy this on eBay for like, I think, $15 at 2019 or 2018. And then I went back again, and unfortunately the Scream became ridiculously expensive. You could probably go all out and just make her entire hair be these bendy wire tentacles, but I feel like this kind of works that she has a solid piece of hair. So I do think this also makes her look more symbiotic, like a shark mask kind of thing, McFarlane's design. And then Venom's now monstrous, looks like some kind of demon creature. And then Carnage is even more insane with tentacles and tendrils all coming off, all slimy and looking insane with weapons for hands. And her main weapon of choice is pretty much her tendrils. So Hasbro didn't do anything to show that off, you know? Yeah, so this is my finished custom here. This is my first episode of Dear Hasbro, I Fixed Your Toy, in which I, improved this figure. Let me know how much improved you think this is compared to the original. Edited in post, like I didn't make my voice deeper. I'm just doing this naturally. Here's my finished product. This is the before, and this is the after. Yeah, so I will see you guys in the next video. Wow.